Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Olympia Soiree, and we are starting Cordoba's route today. Woo! Are you excited? It's been like a fucking week since I recorded because my mom was visiting me, so that was fun. But obviously I couldn't record anything in that time. So anyway, we just skipped through that last chapter like we do, and now we're going over here and we're gonna choose Cordoba. Start him? Yes, dear. All right, we got our guide ready. To drop a handkerchief. Huh, interesting. Alrighty. Back to the scene that's the only thing that I basically remember every single time we play this because it's basically the same, the first few lines. It's so bizarre. Anyway, I mean, it has to be, but it's still kind of like, did you ever get that creepy deja vu feeling? Yes, I've completed the delivery.
Congratulations, Hime!
To be honest, I'm glad my first delivery was here. At least I know where things are. Next, Daifuku peeked his head out of my bag, and I rubbed it gently while I pondered. I should look for my husband now, right?
Right!
But before that, I should probably go to Yomi again, don't you think? I mean, there could be more letters waiting for me. I'm not trying to make excuses. It's just that I want to make sure I do the best job I can on my first day. Sure. Too bad. It looks like there are no letters.
It's only because you just started. I'm sure you'll have a lot of deliveries to look forward to.
I've been having Yosuga and Camellia do all the advertising, so I'd better do some myself once I get used to all this. Daifuku, since we're here, why don't we go and see Juliet?
Wow! Look at this! It's so pretty here! Oh yeah, it's your first time, huh?
Huh? There's sure a lot of children here today. I heard the clamor of children running about upon entering the main hall. I don't recall seeing so many children before. I wonder if there's something happening today. Some looked as young as 5 years old, and the oldest looked around 10. Far too young to be customers at a bathhouse.
Dr. Cordoba is the worst! He didn't have to make it hurt. He's so mean.
Cordoba? Mean?
But it's our fault we got tricked here with sweets.
Are they, like, crying because, like, they had to get shots or something? You Cordoba tricked us! The kids were all sobbing on their way out. What's going on? Don't tell me these children are being bullied. He's a fucking doctor. Oh, God. His jokes were sometimes questionable, but I never thought of him as a bad person. Oh, it looks like the crying children are coming from over there. I decided to go down the corridor where the crying kids were emerging. Yeah, they're probably getting shots. Like, nobody likes shots. As an adult, you're just like, yeah, no, it doesn't hurt. And then later you're like, doctors are mean, they hurt me. Like, nobody likes it. And as a kid, it's harder. You know what I mean?
No! Let me go!
Stay still, kiddo. That voice, it has to be Cordoba. I could hear the wails of kids coming from behind the door.
I'm gonna die! Help me!
Me when I have to go to work.
I'm gonna die! Somebody help me! I don't want to go to work.
Come on, it'll only hurt a little. That sounds terrible! Why that... I hurried to the room and an unexpected scene played out in front of me. Happy Cordoba jabbing kids with needles. I mean, I told you they're probably getting shots. He's trying to stab them with a needle? That must hurt.
You must hate me, Doc.
I love you.
You want to stab me with that because you hate me.
All of these kids. Cordoba's so mean. He hates us. He's mean. He's trying to stab us with a needle. He's so awful. He's trying to help you. All of these children are us with fucking Doma. He's such a dick. He totally hates me. Bitch, he got you your... What? Stop it! These kids are literally her. Oh my god. Do you see the parallels here? Did they do this on purpose? Were the people who wrote this, like, so when the kids are, like, all mad at Cordoba because, you know, kids always get mad at dogs, especially babies. Like, oh, okay, and then you jab them and they're like, horrible human that stabbed me. You know, like, because they don't know. Right? So do you think they were, like, purposely, like, so, like, the kids think Cordoba's evil and hates them because he wants to give them a shot because he's trying to help them, and she's like, Doma's a dick, he hates me, when he absolutely doesn't. Oh my god. Did they do this on purpose? Or, like, is it just, like, a funny coincidence? Because it's hilarious. God, I'm gonna die. Injections hurt everyone, but I can make the syringe feel like a feather. A syringe? So it's an injection!
I hate you, Doc!
Yes, hate me all you want. Just stay still for me. If you move around, I might lose control of this, and it'll hurt even more.
Huh?
So pipe down, alright? His bedside manner is slightly questionable. He's like, you hate me! I don't hate you. But it's gonna hurt more, so just sit down and shut up. Huh?
I've always been healthy, and I never got sick or anything, so I don't need one of these.
You could be healthy now, but what about tomorrow? That's why we're getting you kids immunized. Now, here it comes. There, done. You did good, kiddo. Good job.
You'd be the best if you didn't do this.
Make sure to come back for your next checkup.
Next time, don't make it hurt. Thank you very much.
Checkup? Is this...
Dr. Cordoba, I'm here. I'm all grown up now, so no more crying for me.
Oh, good to hear. Now then, let's start, shall we? Cordoba put on a stethoscope and held the round part to the child's chest. And this is why we have Dr. Cordoba here. What? Camelia's sudden whisper in my ear came as a shock. And today's the checkup for the kids. You saw how full the main hall was, right? Yes, but why here? And there are no licensed doctors in Yomi. I couldn't believe what I just heard. I had never been admitted to the hospital before, but even I knew the importance of having doctors. Even if there were, it would cost so much that no one would be able to afford it. Which is why Dr. Cordoba comes here from time to time to see the kids. On his own, all for free. The kids looked scared, but they all seemed happy and trusting of Cordoba. He was also smiling and laughing with them, which filled my heart with joy. I've never seen such a gentle smile on him before. Oh, look, it's already fallen. Damn, that just went... Is this really the same guy who keeps poking fun at me? So, how about having Dr. Cordoba as your husband? You'll never be sick again. I was never sick before, so I mean... See? We'll marry Cordoba, and 2 years later, Camelia's like, see, I told you! You've never been sick since you married him. But I was never sick before. Same thing. I hurriedly covered my mouth to hold back a scream. It's not gonna be the... Come on, you cannot act that way about Cordoba the same way you act about Akaza. That's gotta be Akaza's thing. What? No!
Hime, thank you for your fine work in delivering letters between Yomi and the surface.
Juliet's voice, I don't quite remember, but...
I would also recommend taking Lord Cordoba as your husband. He was most helpful to me when I was being chased by a drunken customer.
I'm like, why were they chasing a mouse? Never mind. I've done the same thing. Not drunk, but chasing a mouse around my house. I've done that. I'm not... Good lord. Seems insane. So does trying to kill a cockroach with a stick. Sometimes the only weapon you have is the stick to open your curtains with that broke off that you have to use to shove the curtains open instead of just pulling them back and forth, you know? And it's the only thing that's there, so you just... I don't know how it happened, but it did. Anyway.
He also raised my spirits when I despaired over the search for my missing brother. While he may amuse himself at times by teasing people, he is far from ungentlemanly.
I feel like Juliet is speaking to me. Her cute eyes were staring straight at me as if trying to tell me something.
Juliet is right. I believe Hime and Lord Cordoba would go well together, too.
I like how Daifuku is totally on, like, Riku? At first he was, and Tokasada, he was like, Tokasada, really? Huh? He was kind of questionable about that the whole time. He was a little questionable about Yosuga, too. You know what I mean? He was like, I feel like I should tell you something. But I don't know if it was him like, oh, really? Or if it was more like, I think I have to tell you something first. Like, either the whole, like, purple men are probably trying to kill you because of that one rumor that was spread around. Or, I mean, he can't. You know? Less like than with Tokasada where he was like, girl, no. I trust the mouse's decision making. I do. I mean, you were in love with Riku. I'm also in love with Riku. You were questionable on Tokasada. I'm questionable on Tokasada. You were kind of concerned that Yosuga might try to kill us. I was also concerned that Yosuga might try to stab us, but I was there for it, so whatever. I didn't mind. Like, look, I don't care. But I think you could, so I'm just saying. And Cordoba seems like a great guy. So, the two mice looked up at me. See? Even Daifuku and Juliet agree with me. Now hold on there, Camellia. This is a bit too sudden. I mean, it's really nice to know he helps out like this, but I took another glance inside. I mean, I love the fact that we get a CG of him, like, right away, and it took, like, half of Yosuga's route to get his CGs. Like, seriously, game? Cockblock be much? My mind began to drift off as I watched him play with the children as he did their checkups. A thought popped into my mind. If Cordoba became my husband, and then a father, I guess we would have a happy family. She's already there, 5 minutes into the game. I bet our children would laugh and play like that too, and... What in the world am I thinking? That's right, I came to check the letterbox. I'll see you later, Camellia. Huh? You don't need to talk to him? I think he's just about done. I don't want to bother him, so see ya. Phew. Seeing Dr. Cordoba was quite a surprise. I fled the bathhouse as if escaping a crime. I continued on my way with my mind in a daze. And people are not so simple, you know. He's absolutely right. Lady Olympia. Perfect timing, Masahama. I delivered the letter you gave me this morning. Oh, I thank you so very much. I must thank you on behalf of my friend. And they mentioned writing a reply, so I'll bring over their letter once it's ready. Is that so? I'm glad. My friend who wrote the letter, only recently arrived in Yomi. She was a yellow, but her color traits changed from disease. From disease? I never heard such a thing. I don't know much about it, so I apologize if I'm mistaken. She told me about your stage performances on the surface. I've always known your name, and I've heard that your dancing keeps the darkness away. It must be such a wonderfully beautiful sight. I can't believe I can speak to you like this. It's like a dream. Masahana didn't commit any crime, but she can't go up to the surface. I don't think a permit for her would be approved as quickly as my delivery service, but I want her to see me dance on stage someday. If you'd like, why don't we have some tea and you can invite your friend, too? Huh? Masahana's face suddenly fell. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being too forward, aren't I? No, not at all. It has nothing to do with you, Lady Olympia. It's just that she's very shy. I see. Well, perhaps another time then. Yes, another time. Something still didn't seem right. It's probably best not to bring up her friend again. Well, I better be going then. Please be careful. Daifuku, was I being too pushy? Maybe I should have waited to invite them for tea until after I got to know her better.
From what I heard, it doesn't seem like you were at fault, Hime.
It's pretty scary to know your color can change because of some kind of illness. Maybe I can ask Cordoba about it. I love you. I'm like, I hate you, Dr. Cordoba. Well, I love you. My embarrassment returned the moment I brought up his name. I feel like my face is hot. Could I be getting a fever? No, it's probably just the hot weather today. Hey, you look all red in the face. Are you off to meet your lover? I held my breath to keep myself from admitting that I just saw him in Yomi. I saw him doing his work. For some reason, I didn't want him to know I was watching. He probably already knows. Not at all. I haven't found a suitable candidate yet. I was just resting since I finished my deliveries. Ah, so you were waiting for me? Where did that come from? If I knew you were going to be here, I wouldn't have sat down. Huh? I noticed there was a small stuffed toy hanging from his bag. It looks handmade. Maybe one of the children gave it to him. As I smiled thinking about it, Cordoba stared and closed in on me. Want me to show you how to trap a man? No, thank you! I bet he was planning on teasing me again as usual. Really? I was having such a peaceful break, too. Right? I'm telling you. Ahem! You can cite your anger and shut the fuck up afterward. A little bit squawk and then shut up. No! We don't talk like that! You're just being a dick! Just drop a pretty handkerchief. A gentleman's bound to pick it up. I thought I said no thank you. Now, just hear me out. He'd think, who dropped such a fine handkerchief? And sure enough, he'll look up and see the beautiful Olympia. And if the guy's handsome like yours truly, then you can smile and say, why, how thoughtful of you to bring me my precious handkerchief. Can I offer some tea to repay you? You should keep your daydreams to yourself. And don't believe me, huh? Men on this island are more timid than you think, especially since you're like a goddess to them. Mustering the strength to talk to you would be like marching up to the guillotine. I suppose he has a point. Based on the reactions I usually received, I must be some sort of death machine to them. Except for when Kanan came up to us and she blinked at him and then bolted like a goddamn bunny rabbit in the face of a fox. I mean, you can't really blame her because Kanan is absolutely a predator. But I'm just saying, come on. So, you need to lay the trap and give them the opportunity to approach you. I'll keep that in mind. Well, see ya. I've got a date. Huh? What's wrong with me? An unexplainable emotion was rising inside me. Something about Cordoba's words bothered me. Was it sadness? Jealousy? Loneliness? I knew it wasn't happiness, but I had no idea what other emotions it could be. Maybe I'm just tired. I watched Cordoba depart, then I slowly took out a handkerchief from my bag. A single handkerchief couldn't determine my future husband, but I guess it's worth a try. Maybe someone really nice will actually pick it up. I gave it a little thought, then set my handkerchief down on the bench before scuttling away behind a nearby tree. I hope this works. It's gonna be fucking Kanan. Oh, it's you! Give it back. Never mind. I watched the bench for a few minutes. Not a single person took notice of the handkerchief. Maybe placing it on the bench wasn't good enough. Should I have just dropped it on the ground? I waited a few more minutes. Not a single person even went near the bench. Hey, White Sis, you playing hide and seek, or did you do something bad? Here, have a look. The newspaper issue about you is selling like crazy. I'm making lots of money thanks to you. Newspaper. Kanan uses his publication as a means to generate revenue for his research, with articles focusing mainly on entertaining content. Newspaper vendors like Hayuri sell them both on the surface and in Yomi. Really? Why do you look so scared? No, I'm not scared or anything. My dear lady, did you drop your handkerchief? There was a part of me that was wondering somewhere, like, she put her handkerchief and, like, you think Cordoba's gonna all of a sudden be like, did you try that? Like, is it working? Like, I was just waiting for him to catch her doing it, and here we go. Here comes Mr. Busybody. Thanks for the purchase. Now, if you'll excuse me. As Hayuri began to walk away. Hey, Hayuri, you'd better come for a checkup. Shut up, I'm healthy. Like, you listen to anyone who moved up. Hurry up and die from Haku already. This kid is such a douche. I can't wait to hear his story. Because then you're going to be like, oh, I feel bad for the poor little douchebag, but he's still a douchebag. The only ones left were me, Cordoba, and my handkerchief. Well, and Daifuku, he's in your bag, right? He walked toward me and handed it over. Here you go. I took the handkerchief, feeling a strong sense of regret and shame washing over me. I never expected you to really drop a handkerchief. It was just an accident! Aren't you going to invite me for some tea to thank me? You're playing with me again. You have a date, don't you? Just get going already. I forgot. Cordoba made his way out of the plaza. He really just... He's like, I have a date. I'm trying to make her jealous. I found your handkerchief. Aren't you going to invite me for tea? Don't you have a date? Yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, my God. It seemed he really did leave to go on his date. Date. I wonder what people do on dates. Follow him and find out. Find out he never goes on a date. He's not going on a date. Come on. I'm not, absolutely not, trying to follow Cordoba. What did I just say? I didn't think she was going to do it. I just want to see what dating is so I can use it to my advantage. There he is. I hid among the shadows to sneak closer to the man in the familiar lab coat. Then... Ah, Cordoba. Sorry to have called you out here. It's fine. His eye! I tried to keep myself from gasping. That's true. We had never met Sakio. He was in the common route, but he just magically appeared. And then just, like, after she went running once, right? The person was wearing a metallic plate over his eye. From the looks of it, he seemed to be friends with Cordoba. His uniform, it's different from the Kotowari's. Cordoba was led into a large building nearby. The hospital? Okay. Tenshin Hospital. I think this is the hospital. So is this not a date? It must be work. It didn't seem they would leave anytime soon. He was teasing me again about the whole date thing. Why is he only kind to the children? Because he's flirting with you and he just doesn't know how to do it properly. I'm not sure if he did it properly, we would really know the difference anyway. The souls of those on the surface used in death to build the gate for Lord Hirago. And with the souls of those in Yomi, we can make the sun shine. Which do you suppose is the greater honor? Honestly, making the sun shine, because being in a femur bridge just seems a little sad. Just saying. He can be sweet with the children, but sarcastic with me. He's so unpredictable. He is absolutely the person in real life I would fall for. Just because of that sarcasm. It's like, my God, I just want to I love you so much, I hate you. I think Cordoba absolutely has the perfect personality for, like, me in reality. Because, you know, I wouldn't actually date the dumpster fires in real life, but in games, you're like, the dumpster fires are kind of fun. They're pretty. The dumpster fires are always kind of pretty. You're like, I know you're trash, and you were literally on fire, but it's beautiful. Syringe. I went back to the manor and immediately went to the parlor to grab a dictionary. Here it is. I never knew what it looked like without a picture. I see. So the needle is pushed under the skin so that medicine can be injected. Sounds painful, but it does seem useful. I've always been healthy, so I've never had a chance to see a stethoscope or a syringe before. I looked down at my body. Come to think of it, I don't feel hot anymore. It must have been nothing. She was a yellow, but her color traits changed from disease. I was so preoccupied with the handkerchief thing that I forgot to ask him about Masuhana's friend. Aren't you going to invite me for some tea to thank me? That's strange. My face feels hot again. I place my hand on my forehead. I'd better drink some Iroha flower tea and go to bed early. I can't do my deliveries with a fever. So funny. Like, she literally has no clue, but I would be the same way. Ooh, suggestion. Well, that chapter went fast. I would literally be the same way, like, what is wrong with me? I must be sick. And it's like, are you stupid? Yes, just a little. She has an excuse. I do not. I don't know who's saying that because it doesn't sound like Akaza because I don't think he's ever talked in exclamation points. But anyway. Good morning, Lady Olympia. I've been waiting for you. I don't know who it is. Morning had arrived. I arrived at the director's office at the Kotowari to have my letters checked when I was greeted by a young man. Maybe it's, what's his face? Akaza's assistant? I forget his name. Director's office. Akaza's office at the Kotowari headquarters. Good morning. Is Akaza out today? Yes, he has an important meeting at the military headquarters, so he's been out since morning. Lord Akaza instructed me to review your letters if you should arrive today. Oh, where are my manners? I'm Lord Akaza's secretary, Tatsugi of the Cyan. Right, okay, I can never remember his name. Nice to meet you, Tatsugi, and I have just one letter today. One letter today. Mumbled that, Jesus. If you don't mind. He took the envelope from me and carefully opened it to read what was inside. As usual, there was some quiet time during the reading, so I took a look around the room. By the way, is Cordoba out too? Strangely, I didn't feel anyone was there behind the door. That is correct. Lord Cordoba's out as well. Oh, welcome! Are you here for breakfast, lunch, or dinner? I recalled the conversation Cordoba and Camellia had back in Yomi. Do you mind if I ask you something? Does the Kotowari operate on irregular hours? I wouldn't say irregular exactly. At the very least, our hours are set from 9 in the morning to 6 in the evening. Really? But it feels like Akaza and Cordoba are here all the time. However, that's with the exception of Lord Akaza and Lord Cordoba. Excuse me, it's not my place to say so. I asked them once to please take a day off, but they said they feel better here than at home. In particular, Lord Cordoba practically lives in the laboratory. Laboratory? Cordoba's laboratory at the Kotowari headquarters that neighbors Akaza's office. Cordoba's kept so busy by his research that he often sleeps here. Well, he did say he had a bed in the back ready to go if we wanted to bang him right then and there the first time we met him. Charming. I actually think it's kind of funny. And I gotta give... Like, there are people who would say that to you and you'd be like, the fuck is wrong with you? And then there's Cordoba who says that to you and you were like, okay, weirdo. But you kind of laugh about it because there's something charming about it. Not creepy, you know? I'm not surprised. He'd also be the person if you're like, okay, he'd be like, what? I was just kidding, what? But lately he's been going to Tenshin Hospital more frequently, it seems. Tenshin Hospital. Tengu Island's hospital where Sakio is the head doctor. In addition to providing patients with advanced medical care, it also serves as a research facility. We're gonna get some more Sakio in this. He's like a main side character. Apparently. A hospital. He was just there yesterday. I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Everything looks to be in order, so I'll inform Lord Akaza that I gave you my approval. Thank you very much for your help. As I stepped outside, I turned around to look back at the Kotowari headquarters. They do have important positions here, so of course they must be busy. I'm sorry to cause everyone so much trouble. I'll do my best with my deliveries to show my gratitude. I turned around and went back to work. I didn't get a chance to look around last time, so maybe I can explore a little today. I looked around carefully when... Good day to you, Lady Olympia. Are you perhaps looking for Lord Jigen? Lord Jigen's chamberlain approached me. I'd only spoken to him a few times before at Ishanaten, but he didn't seem scared to talk to me. Good day. I actually came here today to deliver this letter. Ah, I heard from Lord Akaza about your deliveries between here and Yomi. Who is the recipient? I can help you. I'm not familiar with the Red District, so I really appreciate it. I'm delivering this to a person named Tanji. He suddenly looked away, troubled. Tanji, is it? I heard his son, Shoujo, was exiled to Yomi about a year ago. Let me lead the way. It is worth a try. He reluctantly led me to Tanji's place and called for him. A letter? For me? From Shoujo? I don't know if he's supposed to be an old man, but I'm gonna make him old. Could just be a normal dude, but anyway. Yes, here you are. Forgive me, but I cannot accept this letter. Huh? But why? He has marred the name of the Red, and deserves to get sent to Yomi. He's dead to me now.
What? The chamberlain next to me gave a deep sigh.
That this criminal would make Lady Olympia his messenger is simply unforgivable. My deepest apologies to you.
No apology necessary. I'm doing these deliveries because I want to.
In any case, I cannot take this. Please discard it if you'd like.
Huh? But...
Now please excuse me.
Without any hesitation, Tanji turned around and walked away. But...
I'm truly sorry, Lady Olympia, for Tanji's rudeness. I will have a word with him later.
No, don't worry about it, but... The letter was left in my hand. There was no way I could just discard it.
His son, Shoujo, was entangled in a fight with a man from the blue and injured him.
I see.
Tanji is very strict, as you can see, and cannot forgive his son for his actions. He behaves as though he never had a son to begin with. When I saw the letter, I foresaw this happening, but...
If that's the case, there's no way I can force the letter onto him.
I'm truly sorry you had to come all this way, but will you please return the letter to Shoujo?
Then I should be going. The red and the blue fighting. I never expected that. But the fact that he wrote this letter means there was something he wanted to say to his family. Maybe I can try talking to Tanji again tomorrow. I found myself walking toward the wharf as I continued to think about what I could do.
Wah!
Surprised by the sudden yelling, I turned around and saw a crowd gathering behind me.
Hey, you alright? The carriage fell! We got someone under! Hurry and lift it up!
I tried to help, but the jostling crowd prevented me from moving forward at all. I hope that he's alright, but if he's injured... I somehow stole a glance through the crowd. Really? And now Nagusa's in this one, huh?
Hey, bring him into my carriage.
Lord Nagusa! Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Well, I accidentally bumped that as I was going to move over to get the thing so we can read this. Nagusa, the son of the leader of the Jade, who will eventually succeed his father's position. Secede his father's position, whatever. His handsome looks and fine manners have captivated the women of Tengu Island. I mean, he's goddamn beautiful. He was just friends with Kanan, so questionable. Something. Will someone help me carry him? Hurry!
Sure! Let me help too! Thank you very much, Lord Nagusa. Let me help as well.
Thank you, if you would. The brief exchange playing out in front of me already told me of the young man's status. He was wearing the most elegant clothing of all the men I had seen so far. I could tell he wasn't with the Kotowari or the military. Stay with me. We'll get you to the hospital.
I'm sorry, Lord Nagusa.
Do not worry. It is not a fatal injury. He lifted the injured man into his carriage and sped away at once.
I think it's funny that Nagusa's kind of like, they've kind of brought him up in other ones, and you're like, he just kind of gets like sidelined, really. Like, he was a little bit more in, what's his face's route because of Kanan, you know, and a little bit in Yosuga, like, oh, you can't marry him, whatever. But like, I just think it's kind of funny that they keep bringing the same, like, he's like, now there's going to be this man, and like, now I feel like she's looking at him like, wow, he's so noble and wonderful. I'm like, are you going to start like flirting with him, and then Cordoba's going to be like, don't do it.
Oh, if only I'd been the one injured. Lord Nagusa would have whisked me away in his arms into his carriage. He's like a dream. And then again, any Otsu like us can only look at him from afar. Nagusa. I've never heard of him before, but he seems popular with women.
Isn't Lord Nagusa's father the leader of the Jade?
Yes, and the successor can only come from the leader's family, so he's been traveling around the island to prepare himself for the position. He must be very studious and earnest. He's so beautiful, kind, and he's also the next in line to become the leader of the Jade.
Beautiful, yes.
I wonder who will take as his wife. Oh, about that, I just heard a rumor recently that Lord Nagusa and Lady Olympia are secretly engaged.
Huh?
Oh, but I heard she chose Lord Akaza of the Kotowari.
We're like standing right fucking here. Like, we're like a ghost.
Not at all. That's a complete misunderstanding. Wait a second. Did she just say engaged? But I also heard Lady Olympia is the mistress of Doma of the Yellow. Who might be her dad, so that's kind of hilarious. Okay. Again, half of me really wants Doma to be our actual dad because it'd be so fucking funny with all the people who were always like, oh my god, she's his mistress, she's his lover. And it's like, he's my dad, that's gross. The actual fuck are people doing in the hallway? Like banging doors and shit. Anyway. But there's a part of me that doesn't want him to be her dad just because he's so fucking hot. And it would make me feel creepy for all the shit I've said. But I'm prepared. I'm prepared for everything I ever say about Doma to come out being creepy at the end and be like, wow, now when we look back, that did not age well. Her dad, not mine. It's okay. I can oogle her dad. I'll be your stepmom, sweetie, because he's fine as fuck. Anyway. But it's strange to call her his mistress when he has no wife. Lord Jigen of the Red doesn't have a wife either, does he? Do outsiders not get married? I wonder, but wouldn't it be a problem for the Yellow if their leader doesn't have a wife? I remember the previous leader, Lord Hagane, died from Haku. Didn't he have any children? We're like learning all this backstory shit now. Hagane, the previous leader of the Yellow before Grandmaster Doma, who died from Haku. Yeah, because he was the rapey bastard who went out there and made all the women of the White kill themselves. I heard he lost all of his children to Haku. It's uncanny that so many leaders have passed away from Haku. And there's Lord Hagane, elder sister Shura's husband, and the leader of the Orange too, right? That many? I heard about elder sister Shura's husband and Lord Hagane, but I guess it can't be helped since the people in the higher color classes are more susceptible to death. Yeah, like purebred dogs. More susceptible to problems and inbreeding, so stop inbreeding. Just saying. Not so loudly. The military will hear you. My mistake. Well, in any case, I wonder who Lady Olympia is going to choose. The women continued their gossip without noticing me behind them. Me? Engaged? Wait, could it be... She's gonna go back and slap Doma in the face. Did you tell people I was gonna marry? He's like, what the fuck is happening? Poor fucking Doma. He's the unsung hero. He's MVP in my heart. Okay. Akaza, are you back? I thought I already told you not to run through the corridors. Never mind that. You better not have decided who my husband will be behind my back. What are you talking about? He's like, the fuck? I heard some girls talking about me being engaged to this Nagusa person. I am not to blame. As I told you before, forcing you to have relations against your will would be inhumane. I'll not make the decision of who your future husband will be. But what you heard is merely a rumor. I strongly suggest that you not take random rumors so seriously. Thank goodness. I leaned back against the door as I let out a sigh of relief. He's like, hell, girls. However, Nagusa the Jade is 23 years old and currently eligible. I'd not be surprised if he was vying for the position. Of course, your wishes will be respected above all else. You'll not need to worry about forced engagement. So, what was your impression of Nagusa? Hypothetically, could you see him as your husband? I didn't meet him personally. I only saw him from a distance. Oh, but there were some girls there who were very excited to see him. Well, there's no need to rush. I'm sure you'll find better candidates. Wait a minute. I thought you wanted me to hurry. You may wish to expand your horizons first. He's like, I mean, the ghost is not the best idea, is he? It's not even his accent. I don't even know what happened there, but... I breathed another sigh of relief. And then again, I wasn't sure that I should really be relieved. After all, my list of candidates was nearly empty. I can agree with that. And I'm sorry to have accused you. If you would excuse me. Bow out gracefully. Come to think of it, Cordoba wasn't there. Was he in his lab? Eating at Yomi? Still at the hospital? Why do I care so much where he is? Am I in love with him? That's silly. Later. Oh, really? I guess I've kind of been falling for him this whole time. Girl. Like, she already digging him. It's cute. After leaving the Kotowari, I walked back to the usual plaza and my usual bench. Well, that was surprising. It never dawned on me that someone would want to become my husband. Nagusa of the Jade. He seemed like a nice person, but you're like, he seemed pretty, therefore he seemed nice. Well, I mean, he did help that person, you know. Nagusa told me I don't need to rush now. Not to mention that the engagement rumor is only a rumor. We haven't even spoken at all. He's right. Rumors are just rumors, with most of them being lies. There's no way I'd ever become Doma's mistress. I mean, I would. I spent some time thinking about my situation. I couldn't help but look around. Cordoba passed by here yesterday. I wonder if he's around today. I reached into my bag to take out my handkerchief when someone tapped my shoulder from behind. Oh, this fucker. I was like, is it might be Nagusa or Cordoba? No, this bitch. Good day, Olympia. Yeah. Look how her face is like, oh. Oh, you look thoroughly disappointed to see me here, as always. You're just imagining things. So, were you waiting for someone? No. So, do you mind if I take a seat next to you today? Trust me, I won't bite. Go ahead. Did my expression really show disappointment? It's not like I was waiting for anyone. But if someone's gonna magically show up, you're like, I wonder if it's someone I will actually be interested in talking. Oh, it's Kanon. Oh, great. Okay, well. That's right. Let me first offer you my thanks. The newspaper sold 15 times the usual amount, and it's still selling even now. The vendors are all very happy and wanted to extend their gratitude. Here, have a look. The newspaper issue about you is selling like crazy. I'm making lots of money thanks to you. Well, it's good that they're making money, I guess. I somehow managed to convince myself of that. And that said, I wanted to prepare for the next article. Nothing has changed. And no need to be so secretive. I'll make sure things go well for you. Really, nothing has changed. Come now. You're the beautiful Olympia. Droves of them must be fighting for you. If that were true, I wouldn't be sitting on this bench all day like a sundial made of shame. Sundial of shame. I am a sundial of shame. Oh, God, that's so good. Oh, that is so fucking good. Oh, I just need to bury that deep in my brain for it to come back at some random points in time. Oh. Just so then when you say it, people are like, haha, that's amusing. And you're like, it's double meaning because it's amusing, but it's also now it's insider joke from this game. Oh, God. Sundial made of shame. Bravo, writers. That was beautiful. Reprimanding Kanon wasn't going to make my situation better. Maybe I could ask him for a little help. Let me ask you something. If you were to recommend anyone to me, who would it be? Oh, let me see. It would be Nagusa of the Jade. Oh, you know him? Not at all. I don't know him personally. I just happened to see him once, that's all. Handsome, isn't he? I suppose he had a pleasant face. Yes, very much so. I wasn't near enough to see, so... His father is the current leader of the Jade. The position is hereditary, so odds are likely that Nagusa will succeed him. And not only is he handsome, but he's also known as a good man who travels the various districts to listen to the hardships of the Ko and Otsu. He is handsome, and he's wonderful, and he's a great person, and he's got really lovely hands. He plays the piano quite well. Kanon? What the fuck? Kanon, are you in love with him? I mean... Confused. He's 23, so just past his prime. Just his prime! Oh. It's shit like this that makes people, when they're 26, start crying because they're old. Really? Just wait till you get to be my age, kids. Your fucking body hurt. Like, Jesus Christ, Oats. He's past his prime. What am I then? Dead? Yes, actually. According to game logic, I'm definitely dead. I know it's because in this game world, 18 and 20 are like marriageable ages, but like past his prime at 23. Oh my God. Oh, God. Listen. When you get old, you're allowed to have a midlife crisis, okay? But, like, when you're in your 20s, you do not get to have a crisis about being old. Save it for later. You're gonna need it. Okay?
Seriously. Grandma's told you this a million times, kiddos. Take that angst. Oh my god, I'm 26. I'm so old. Take that. Take the stress that you're going to feel. Oh my god, 30. Take all of it. I want you to put it in a box. Bury it deep in your mental closet. And dust that shit off when you hit 40. Because you're really going to you're going to have a breakdown then. So you might as well just save it all, okay? And just have the breakdown and it's going to last. And then by the time you get accustomed and you're like, I mean, I guess I'm okay being 40. Someone's going to be like, ding, ding, ding. Excuse me, but tomorrow's your 50th birthday. And then you're literally going to break down and cry. Also, enjoy birthdays while they last, kids. Because at some point, you're going to be like me, literally. Okay, as I'm recording this, my birthday was yesterday. As you're watching this, my birthday was probably months ago. Okay, but, like, legit, I was like, okay. And then, like, you go to bed and you're like, oh, wait. Yeah, today's my birthday. Wait. You just kind of forget about it. It's just another fucking day. And it's like so anticlimactic. And it's actually more depressing because when you're a kid, you're like, my birthday's coming up in 364 days. And when you're old, you're like, oh, is that today? What hurts now? Like, it's just, you're like, oh, yeah, okay. The only thing different is like 6 people text you to say happy birthday as opposed to nobody texting you at all. And then you're like, why is my phone beeping? God. Like, because you're old. Anyway, 23 is not past your prime. So thank you for making my crisis just feel worse when now you're 23 is basically half dead to them. My body hurts now. He's 23, so just past his prime. But he purposely hasn't taken a wife because he wants to learn more about what it takes to be a leader. Beautiful, no scandals, and highly respected. Quite fitting to become your husband, don't you think? He seems to be in good health, so if you marry him, I can guarantee you'll have many adorable, healthy children. Kanan, are you his mother trying to, like, sell him to me? Because that's what you sound like. Oh, sweetie, my son is a doctor. I swear to God. Like an old lady in a nursing home. Jesus. I don't mean to be rude, but why are you so adamant about recommending him? Why are you so adamant about how hot he is, too? I mean, I agree with you, Kanan, but seriously? I thought you had some weird kink where you wanted to drug your brother up into having sex with me on your behalf. And now you're like, well, but then I'll take care and I'll get to peep and watch. Kanan, you've got some serious problems. I kind of get why, but also, you still have serious problems and maybe there should be a therapist on this island. He is a friend of mine. He's a friend of mine. I would think there was something so much more insidious in that, except for we know with Kanan it can't be like that, so. I see. The look on her face is like, yeah, there's something going on here. Like, but I'm not lying. You can ask others about Nagusa for yourself. I already know he's popular. If you'd like, I'd be happy to make a reservation for the 2 of you to dine together. He's really trying to sell his friend to us, like an old lady would be selling her, like, son to you. My son! Oh, you could marry him. Oh, he is a catch. He lives in my basement and never really leaves, but, you know, anything to get him the fuck out of the house. Thank you for your recommendation and the information you provided, but I'll need to think about it. As you wish. And now then I should get ready for the next article. Next? Wait! Stop right there! Things need to be prepared well ahead of time, Olympia. Good day. He's gonna talk about interested in Nagusa of the Jade, and you're like, I asked you a question about him. Holy fuck. Unbelievable. I'm not even sure he's even listening to what I say. Absolutely not. I finally took my handkerchief out of my bag. It's been a week since my birthday. Yasuga told me to look for a friend first, didn't he? Well, see ya. I've got a date. Why am I thinking of Cordoba now? Well, I do talk to him more than the other men I know. But he can't be my husband, especially given how he's always toying with me. Even yesterday with his handkerchief. He was so horrible to tease me like that. I tightened my grip on the handkerchief when... Speak of the devil, the handsome devil. I can't drop the handkerchief if you're holding it so tightly. I almost fell off the bench in surprise. My eyes were wide open at his sudden appearance. You like wish? You're like, I'm thinking of Cordoba. And there he is. Doesn't work like that in real life, does it? Or did you already drop another one somewhere else? Unbelievable. How in the world is he able to sneak up on me like this?
I was just about to I wasn't going to drop it. I feel like that would be the right. I wasn't going to drop it. I was just about to. Whoops. Okay. I want to be like, I wasn't going to drop it. My handkerchief. I was planning on dropping it just now. I see. Sorry to have gotten you in your way then. I wonder if he's returning from Yomi, or maybe I couldn't bring myself to ask him, and yet I didn't want our conversation to end. I went to the Kotowari this morning to get my letters checked, but the secretary read them since you and Akaza weren't there. I see. Good to know your deliveries are going well. I actually had another date this morning. This morning? I think her with their faces like, yeah, really? And kids have their fun from morning to night, but adults have their fun from night to morning. Adults spend time together at that late of an hour? Is that how things are? And then all of it, he's making a sexual innuendo, and she's like, really? That seems odd. You'll learn what I mean when you grow up. I want to be like, teach me now then. Oh my god, please tell me that's the right answer. Good god. It is. It is. Oh, he's one of those characters that he's like, ha ha ha, you'll have to find out someday. Teach me now. What? I mean, huh? Well, teach me now then. Huh? Exactly. Explain it to me in detail. These things all go in a certain order. Maybe I'll share a few things next time. So he's sweating and anxious and nervous because he's like, ha ha ha, I'm going to make sexual jokes, and then you're going to be like, okay, and I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes that's all you have to do. As people try to fuck with you, you just fuck with them right back, and then they're like, what? I didn't, huh? I just runs away awkwardly. I know, because I would be that person. I'm all talk like, hey, yeah, come on, Cordoba, show me your stuff. And then he would, and I'd be like, wait, what? I wasn't actually prepared. I'm all talk, no walk. What the fuck? See? We know this. That's how I know how to play this game, because I'm exactly that person. We do this, come on, game, give me some sugar. And then the game makes me read sex scenes, and I'm like, this is awkward, and I shouldn't have said anything. Never mind. It was obvious he was avoiding my request. I guess I'm just a child to him. I thought he was at the hospital today, but I guess I was wrong. My heart felt uneasy, as if it was being squeezed. It wasn't a pleasant feeling, so I tried to avoid thinking about it. Say, why are you with the Kotowari? You could have worked at the hospital as a doctor, right? Well, if I work for the hospital, they'd treat me like some rookie. But at the Kotowari, I can be an esteemed deputy director. Is he being serious? It's so hard to tell if he really is a good guy or not. So don't hesitate to talk to me if you feel sick. I'm a very good doctor. So, he is a good guy? He could be a bad guy and a good doctor. I mean, you know. Unfortunately for you, I doubt that day will ever come. You told me yourself when we first met that I'm healthy. Which is great. I want you to stay healthy. After all, you are the last white remaining. Cousin, I can't rest until you find yourself a good husband. It is our job to make sure your white bloodline is preserved. You don't need to tell me that. I felt my heart being squeezed again. This time it actually hurt. Well, just find a good mate, will you? Yeah, I definitely recommend Akaza without hesitation, but you can choose anyone you want. Maybe he was just being nice when he said he was happy to hear me say we were similar. If you like unusual colors, I'll be your lover on the side. Cordoba, this is probably why I really love you. See, also, you know what? Goddamn, I love you. Because, you know what? Well, that's what the man harem's about, right? What? Suddenly, a burst of anger exploded inside me. Despite his playful attitude, his words seemed to disparage his color class. Don't say that! I'm of an unusual color, too. You make it sound like you hate your color. Silence engulfed the space between us. I couldn't take back what I said now that it was out in the open. But I didn't want Cordoba to think badly of himself. Even if it was motivated by my selfishness. You're right. I forgot you're from a rarer color class than I am. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything bad about you. No, I'm sorry for speaking out of line. Why apologize to me? I'm aware that I can get emotional when people talk about colors or the island I came from. I've been trying to keep that under control, but I guess I failed. And don't worry, you're beautiful. It's true that some idiots may look at you with scorn, but everyone who lays their eyes upon Olympia is mesmerized by her loveliness. Still be confident in yourself. It's funny, because he turned this around on us. But he was basically like, well, I mean, I'll be your bitch on the side because I'm just a freak. And she's like, excuse me, what the fuck? And he's like, I didn't mean to make you feel bad about yourself. You're great. And we're like, I wasn't feeling bad about me. I was pissed that you were ragging on yourself, you bastard. What the fuck? What the hell? How'd you turn that around and make me act like I was feeling bad about myself? I wasn't. I was mad at you for ragging on yourself. Damn it. What the hell? What? How the hell did you flip that shit around? I never expected him to say something like that so naturally in a conversation. I wasn't sure what to do. Before I knew it, the feeling in my heart was replaced with embarrassment. You'll scare your husband away with that face. Keep smiling. Don't tell me to smile, bastard. And then that... right there. Man, smile, sweetheart. I will punch you. Wait, was he actually trying to say so back then? Like I said, the guys are just shy. They actually do want to talk with you. You think so? Well, I have some work to do, so keep up the good work with your deliveries. Huh? Yes, of course. It was rare to see anyone wearing a white lab coat, so he really stood out in the crowd. It was only natural that I couldn't take my eyes off his departing figure. He's really good at sweet-talking. Yeah, he is. And yet, he can sound so serious at times. After watching the white lab coat disappear, I looked down again at my handkerchief. I must have been holding it tightly. It was lined with deep wrinkles now. Perfect place to end it. Well, you know, once we get to, like, the next spot, there's a lot of, like, transitioning right now going on. Oh, Doma. Do we get to see... Oh, no, she's gonna go medicine. But, like, this is the study. Doma shows up here sometimes. I'm just like, hey, Doma, I haven't seen you in so long. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.